There are events happening right now that to the watchful eye would seem surreal, since normality no longer applies in today's world. There is an amazing weather phenomenon that has sparked a great deal of attention recently. In ski resorts across Russia and Romania, the snow has turned a rusty color, while pink snow has been reported in the Ukraine. So what's going on here? According to reports, sand from the Saharan desert was being carried a considerable distance by powerful winds in the troposphere. An unexpected weather anomaly, such as the dust snow of Sochi, is nothing short of baffling. This satellite image shows the dust being carried towards the northeast, where a similar phenomenon turned southern Greece into a Martian landscape. On the same day that the sandstorm was turning the skies red in southern Greece, in Greece's northern region, a heavy snowfall whitened the skies. Is this becoming the new norm in today's world? A trend is developing with respect to weather patterns which are having a profound effect across the northern hemisphere. A series of harsh nor'easter storms have plagued the northeastern U.S., In all, a total of 5 consecutive storms developed, of which 4 were classified as bombogenesis events, a technical term that describes a storm where the atmospheric pressure drops rapidly, allowing the storm to blow up into raging beasts. Once considered a controversial theory, the warming Arctic is making winter weather in the northern hemisphere more extreme. For those people living in areas susceptible to these strangely classified storms, it is representing a new normal. These storms are becoming more violent and are lasting longer. The weather in the Arctic is also on the edge of extreme. In late February, temperatures spiked more than 50 degrees above normal. More than a dozen major climate records have been broken in just the past 3 years. High winter temperatures, low winter and summer sea ice, extensive thawing of permafrost. For the past decade, researchers have predicted that rapid Arctic warming would disrupt atmospheric circulation patterns, those that control the winter weather across the northern hemisphere. Another prediction being introduced suggests that the jet stream patterns developing now will occur more often, and they will move from west to east across North America more slowly than usual. The large jet streams seen today are hanging around much longer, are creating prolonged weather anomalies that lead to droughts, severe cold spells, one nor'easter storm after another, and even winter heat waves. A paper published in Nature Communications indicates that these linkages are no longer an hypothesis. In fact, there is a strong correlation between unusually warm Arctic temperatures and extreme winter weather in the eastern United States. Indeed, the monster nor'easters that have battered the Northeast for an entire month are beyond extreme. you would have a difficult time convincing New Englanders that these storms are normal. Is it normal that residents of Cape Cod have been without power for an entire week? Is it normal that residents of Boston shore towns have seen their homes wrecked twice by record high tides and massive waves? Is it normal for the residents in the interior communities to get 2 feet or more of snow all at once? The streak being witnessed today across North America has become a new normal. What we see now are storms that are uglier and which stay around longer, much to our dismay. There can be no doubt that things are changing quickly here on Earth. But what about the sun? Long ago, people would worship the sun as a deity. After all, it provided the essentials to sustain life on this planet. But then came science and industrialization, which pushed the sun's importance to the wayside as people generally forgot about the sun and its importance to our survival. Even so, the importance of the sun's energy to our existence has not diminished. In fact, the life of the sun is quite complex, which has some experts expressing concern for our future in some rather dramatic ways. It's commonly accepted by scientists who spend their time observing the sun that the number of dark blemishes on its surface tend to appear and diminish in a predictable 11-year cycle. When sunspots began to vanish, then it would be expected that the sun was entering into a so-called grand solar minimum cycle, which coincided with a type of mini ice age that had harsh winters and the infamous year without a summer. This period of time became known as the Maunder Minimum, so named after astronomer Edward Maunder, who studied the solar cycle. The controversy that still exists at this particular time is one that argues whether the strange behavior of the sun is contributing to extreme temperature fluctuations on Earth, and whether industrialization is also playing a role in the effects of climate change. According to NASA, the sun is entering into a period of few or no sunspots. But does this actually explain the brutal winter episodes that have occurred in the northern hemisphere in recent weeks? Some experts are predicting that we are entering into another grand minimum cycle, which is very similar to the Maunder minimum, which would mean a period of brutal winter weather and much cooler summers. Now, for those who live south of the Mason-Dixon line, cooler summers sounds rather refreshing. But in reality, nature would be playing a cruel joke on humanity. Such an event, if it were to occur, would have a profound effect on the global economy in the manner of rising energy use and the likelihood of crop failure. In a time of abundance, a drastic change to the world's harvest would come as a shock and would broaden the scope of economic instability. There are